folks. Welcome to your first pop culture roundup of 2026. This is So Bad It's Good, and this is your pal Ryan. New year, same me. I hope everybody has a great start to the week. This is kind of the week where everything kind of gets back to normal, allegedly or supposedly, where we've been kind of in this fog with the holidays, and now everybody, really puts their head down and starts grinding it out for the rest of the year. So let's have as much fun as humanly possible. How are you? Was it a good weekend? Was it a sad weekend? It's been so rainy here in Los Angeles, which is okay. If you're in the mood to be bummed out, it's okay. But man, sometimes you just want that sunshine. Today, Monday, I have tons of things. I got an interview over at Spotify downtown, and then I got to go to the studio. I'm doing 2 interviews over there. I mean, I'm just really, really blessed. But yeah, we're starting strong. Today's going to be a great episode. Sophie Ross, there's a timestamp if you want to skip right to that. And we do our normal thing, making fun of pop culture, talking about some stories you might already be aware of and talking about some stories you might not even be aware of at all. So I think we kind of go around the entire world. Now, while Sophie and I were talking, we had the Critics' Choice Awards that took place this evening, and it's a bunch of critics. They poll all the critics, they vote, and these are the winners. Let's do some Critics' Choice Awards, and I'll tell you what to watch this week before Sophie. Now, for Best Picture, One Battle After Another won. Now, if you listen to this podcast, you know how much I have loved this film. I've seen it 3 times so far. Now, the other nominees in this category were Begonia, which you can stream on Peacock. I watched Begonia last week. I've thought more and more about Begonia after I saw it, and I think Jesse Plemons gives such a fantastic performance. Emma Stone is really good too, but Jesse Plemons I think is really good, and I'm expecting him to get an Oscar nomination. You have Frankenstein, which you can stream on Netflix. I really love that film as well. You have Hamnet with Jesse Buckley and Paul Mescal. I have not seen that yet. I hear that it's a tearjerker. You have Jay Kelly with George Clooney and Adam Sandler. You can stream that on Netflix right now. You have Marty Supreme with Timothy Chalamet. That's out in theaters right now. You have Sentimental Value, which is out in theaters right now. Sinners, which you can stream on HBO Max. Train Dreams, which you can stream on Netflix. And Wicked for Good, which I believe will probably be streaming on Peacock, I would imagine in a month or so, but I'm not sure. I know you can rent it video on demand. Now, One Battle After Another, like I said, won. I've only seen Begonia, Frankenstein, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. So I have not even seen half of these films. So I have a lot of work to do before the Oscars, right? But for me, out of those 4 films, I would say it comes down to One Battle After Another and Sinners. And I think that's going to be a big conversation you're going to hear a lot. Now, Marty Supreme, I think, is going to be in that race. Hamnet's going to be in that race as well. But for me, just out of those 4 films, the 2 I saw in theaters were those films. And they really blew me away for very different reasons. But they were both led by amazing directors, Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another and Ryan Coogler for Sinners. I will say Sinners, I mean, and by the way, they both come out of Warner Brothers Studios. So I'm going to be very interested to see how much money Warner Brothers puts into each Oscar campaign, because both of these will be nominated for Best Picture. I mean, I think One Battle After Another has it on lock, but I do think there is a good chance Sinners might be able to come in and sneak in and get it. And I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be. I think Ryan Coogler is fantastic. And what he did with like this horror genre, but also made it so much more. You can tell this is an artist, a true filmmaker. And I love this dude. But Paul Thomas Anderson has been my favorite since Boogie Nights. And I just have rooted for this guy from the very beginning. And so I want to see him win. I want to see him win Best Director, and I want to see him win Best Film. But I mean, I think it's going to be a tight race. And Sinners, I think, more people saw Sinners, more people continue to see Sinners. It was not only a critical hit, but a box office hit. And Michael P. Jordan, playing dual roles, was fantastic. What an actor. So, I mean, I want One Battle After Another, but I think Sinners, there's a chance it might take it. Who knows? A lot of people are saying Marty Supreme. I have not seen that yet. But like I said, even the promotion of that movie turned me off to it, but I still really am very excited to see it. For Best Director, Paul Thomas Anderson won tonight for that, and Ryan Coogler, Guillermo del Toro for Frankenstein, Josh Safdie, Marty Supreme, Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value, and Chloe Zhao for Hamnet were also nominated. Chloe being the only female in this category, and we want to see more female directors, so it's great there's representation, but we need more. So Paul Thomas Anderson won that. Best Actor went to Timothée Chalamet for Marty Supreme. Now, the big story coming out of the Critics' Choice Awards tonight was that Timothée Chalamet, once again, has claimed Kylie Jenner. In fact, he thanked Kylie Jenner during his Best Actor speech, and he said, "Thank you to my partner. Thank you for our foundation. I love you. I couldn't do this without you." And it's not Chloe. Kylie was in the. You saw Kylie mouth, "I love you." I mean, listen, Kris Jenner is having one of the best 2026s ever. She's just like, holy, we did it. We did it. And also, they were dating for 3 years. I feel like we didn't know for like a good year, like a good half a year. I thought it was like 2 or 2.5 years, 3 years. So that was the big story. Listen, I think this couple does it for a lot of people. It doesn't necessarily do it for me. But I'm happy if everybody's happy, right? And it's always, I love love. I love when people shout out love on stage. So it was good. I will say, watching some of the Critics' Choice Awards and their table, it was surrounded by security, and you saw a lot of interactions online in between the commercial breaks. And I think this is mainly Kylie's security. I mean, there's like these security guards standing like on the right of Kylie and on the left of Timothy. And people were trying to come up and see him, and they were just getting blocked by these security guards. And I was like, what an odd way to live your life. What an odd way to live. So Timothée Chalamet, Best Actor tonight, Critics' Choice Awards. Now, Best Actress went to Jessie Buckley for Hamnet. Great. I have not seen that, like I said. Best Supporting Actor went to Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein. This is huge. A lot of people thought this was going to go to Benicio del Toro or Sean Penn for One Battle After Another, but Jacob got it, so congratulations. Best Supporting Actress went to Amy Madigan for Weapons, who plays Aunt Gladys in Weapons, and she was fantastic. What a creepy role, and she made it seem real, which is what actors are supposed to do. Best Young Actor, they have a category in this, Best Young Actor or Actress, and it went to Miles Caton, who played the young man in Sinners. He was fantastic, so well-deserved. They have a Best Comedy category, and this went to the Naked Gun reboot with Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson. You can stream that on Paramount Plus, you guys. There's a Best Casting Award, which I think is fantastic. This went to Francine Maisler for Sinners. I mean, amazing. Sinners was so perfectly casted. Once again, I would love One Battle After Another, but Sinners amazing. So well-deserved. Best Original Screenplay went to Ryan Coogler for Sinners. And I have to say, I agree with this, because Ryan Coogler built a whole world. He built a world about like this time with like prohibition and vampires and immigration, and there were all of these themes, and he did it through like a vampire story. How amazing. Best Adapted Screenplay went to Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another. And then Best Cinematography went to Train Dreams. Best Editing went to F1, which that is amazing editing. You can stream F1 on Apple TV right now. Best Costume Design went to Frankenstein. Best Production Design went to Frankenstein. Best Score went to Sinners, with Ludwig Göransson, who also did Christopher Nolan's last film, Oppenheimer, and I believe he is doing The Odyssey, which comes out next summer. And also Ludwig was one of the people that works on well, why am I blanking? Childish Gambino. He also works on music with Childish Gambino. So fantastic. And I did think the score was amazing for that. But I know, I did buy the score to One Battle After Another with Johnny Greenwood. Johnny Greenwood is the guitarist for Radiohead and also has done a couple of scores for Paul Thomas Anderson, and I love him. Best song was Golden, K-Pop Demon Hunters. Hell yeah, the K-Pop Demon Hunters won. Best Sound, F1. Best Visual Effects, Avatar, Fire and Ash. Best Stunt Design, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. And Best Animated Film, K-Pop Demon Hunters. Best Foreign Language Film went to The Secret Agent, which is a Brazilian film. And then we went to TV. Best Drama Series went to The Pit. I was pulling for Severance, but this was a stacked category. You had Alien Earth, Andor, The Diplomat, Paradise, Pit, Pluribus, Severance, and Task. all amazing series. I was pulling for Severance, but The Pitt got it. And remember, the second season of The Pitt starts on HBO Max this week on the 8th. So set your calendars. Best Actor in a Drama Series went to Noah Wyle for The Pitt. I wanted Adam Scott for Severance. Best Actress in a Drama Series went to Rhea Seehorn for Pluribus, which just ended its first season on Apple TV. I watched every episode. I really enjoyed it. I'm very frustrated. Vince Gilligan, in an interview this week, said, "You're going to have to wait a long time for season 2 of Pluribus." And I feel like this is a problem that probably deserves a whole episode for me to talk about at some point. I feel like it was the Sopranos on HBO that started this mess. The Sopranos, I think, was one of the first series where the creator, David Chase, started taking long periods of time in between seasons because he wanted to make sure it was perfect and for him to be inspired. And HBO was like, "Sure, man, The Sopranos is such a hit. We'll wait as long as you want." And then Vince Gilligan did this on Breaking Bad, but a lot of shows started doing this, especially on pay cable, because they were not network television. They didn't, need fall television or winter television. They legitimately could program whenever these creators were finished with their masterpieces. But I think it is catching up to the audience where it's very frustrating, as Lisa Barlow would say. Think about how long we had to wait for Stranger Things. Think about how long we had to wait for Severance. It's very frustrating when there are these shows that are very involved, but you wait so long in between seasons that half the audience have forgotten. I mean, The Pitt has its second season pretty quickly for a show. And so it's very disappointing. It's like, man, Pluribus, it's a hit, but I don't know if it's like a hit in the way of, say, Severance. And so it's critical to keep that audience there and to not take that long in between seasons. So I was very disappointed about that because I think time is of the essence. And, I never want to rush art, but I will say there are enough brilliant people that these things should be able to move a little quicker. But what do I know? Best Supporting Actor in a Drama Series went to Tremel Tillman from Severance. Hell yeah, Mr. Milchick. Best Supporting Actress in a Drama Series went to Catherine Lanasa for The Pitt. Best Comedy Series was The Studio with Seth Rogen. Best Actor in a Comedy Series went to Seth Rogen in The Studio. Best Actress in a Comedy Series, Jean Smart for Hacks. Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series, Ike Barinholtz for The Studio. Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series went to Janelle James for Abbott Elementary. Best Limited Series, Adolescence, which was just flippin' fantastic. You can stream that on Netflix. Best Movie Made for TV, Bridget Jones, Mad About the Boy. Renee Zellweger, you can stream that on Peacock. Best Actor in a Limited Series, Stephen Graham for Adolescence. Best Actress in a Limited Series, Sarah Snook for All Her Fault, which you can stream on Peacock. I just watched that a couple of weeks ago. Best Supporting Actor was the kid, Owen Cooper from Adolescence. This kid is fantastic. And you're next going to be able to see him in Is it Wuthering Heights with Jacob Elordi that comes out in February? I believe he has a good-sized role in that, if I'm not mistaken. Best Supporting Actress in a Limited Series went to Erin Doherty for Adolescence. Best Animated Series went to South Park. Best Foreign Language Series went to Squid Game, based out of South Korea. Best Talk Show went to Jimmy Kimmel Live. And obviously, with everything that happened with Jimmy Kimmel this year, I think that was well-deserved. Best Comedy Special went to SNL 50, the anniversary special. And Best Variety Series went to Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, which I love John Oliver. So that is a little peek into what to be expected because we're in award season. Next Sunday is the Golden Globes. We'll get our Oscar nominations. In fact, today we'll get the SAG nominations, the Screen Actors Guild nominations. So I'm looking forward to those. And remember, the Golden Globes next week, we have our first ever award for Best Podcast. Best Podcast. So expect So Bad It's Good to sweep. I'm joking, and you knew I was joking, but whatever. Let's talk about what to watch after this commercial break. I'm so glad you guys are here. Okay, let's get into what to watch this week. A couple show notes first. My Patreon subscribers, my baddies, what is up? We did an hour and a half Patreon this weekend where I recapped Roni Season 2, Episode 5. season 1 recap is fully on there, and we're up to episode 5. Plus, I talked about a couple other things that I watched over the weekend, including Breakdown 1975, a documentary on Netflix that I thought was very interesting. And I talk a little bit about Members Only Palm Beach, which I talk about with Sophie on this episode as well. Now, on Bravo, we are stacked this week. Tonight, we had a new episode of Real Housewives of Potomac. Angel is one and done, man. Angel is donezo. I've never seen somebody flop so weirdly hard on this show, but I do think it was hysterical that they went to visit her, and she put them up in a different house, and then she gave Giselle and Ashley like tiny twin beds in a room, which I thought was hysterical, but Giselle doesn't take too kindly to that. Then after that, we had an all-new episode of Married to Medicine. Now tonight we have a new episode of Below Deck Med, which I finally got locked into this season. I'm really digging this season now. And then on Tuesday, we have the season finale of season 6 of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Please don't go, Salt Lake City. I love you so much, but I'm sure we'll have 3 episodes or 4 episodes of the reunion. We'll get our first peek at the reunion trailer, I would imagine, today or Tuesday. And then on Tuesday, we also have a new episode of Vanderpump Rules. Then on Wednesday, we have Southern Charm back with us. I just watched this week's episode. It was a decent episode. I think they lost a little bit of steam, but I think they're finding their way back again. And I love Southern Charm. We'll be recapping that this week. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills will be on Thursday, January 8th. The season is so for me this far, but we'll be recapping that as well. And then after Beverly Hills this week, we have the reboot of Shaws of Sunset, finally, but it is now called The Valley Persian Style. I've watched the first episode of this. I highly, highly enjoyed this. I think this is reality television for adults. And I mean that as a compliment. I truly do. I think this is worth checking out. We want to support this show. Even if you don't watch it day and date, make sure you stream it on Peacock. Now, over on TLC, they're loaded as well. And I have not watched 90 Day in a while because there's just been too much. But they have a whole slew of programming. They have 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days, which was tonight. 90 Day Fiancé the other way, which is Monday, tonight. 90 Day Diaries, which is tonight as well. And then we have the season premiere of 1,000 Pound Sisters. Yeah, that's right. 1,000 Pound Sisters is back, you guys. Tuesday, January 6th. That's over on TLC. Now on Peacock, remember this week, very important week, on Thursday, we have the first 3 episodes of season 4 of The Traitors. Lisa Rinna, Dorinda Medley. You got a dancer from Dancing with the Stars. You got athletes. You got the whole thing. Now, I can't wait to start covering this show. So make sure you are subscribed to this podcast because we got a lot of Traitors content coming your way very, very soon. So that's over there in the reality television world. But what else do we have out there this week? Okay, on Netflix, we have Marcelo Hernandez, American Boy. Now, Marcelo Hernandez is on Saturday Night Live for the past couple of seasons. He is a huge star over on Saturday Night Live, so this is his stand-up. I've seen him do stand-up once when I was in New York at Radio City Music Hall with Colin Jost and Michael Che, and he was fantastic. So I'm excited to see this. This premieres on Netflix January 7th. On Discovery ID, we had The Cult Behind the Killer, the Andrea Yates story. And this is an examination of Andrea Yates, who drowned her 5 children while suffering from depression and psychosis. And supposedly she had cult influence that warped her reality. Hopefully it wasn't Mary Cosby's church, but this seems very intense over on Discovery ID. Now on Hulu, January 7th, we have Bruce Springsteen, Nebraska Live. Now, we just had the Bruce Springsteen biopic with Jeremy Allen White portraying Bruce Springsteen, portraying the boss, working on the album Nebraska. Well, this is Bruce Springsteen himself playing Nebraska Live, but it's a documentary covering this album, talking about this album. So I'm a huge Springsteen fan, so I can't wait to check this out as well. Now, in other areas, we have Love is Blind Germany on Netflix. This premieres on January 8th. And it's always great, these Love is Blind, different iterations. We just had Italy, but it's amazing because you get to see how, different countries are, our similarities and our differences. I always think it's fascinating. On Amazon Prime, January 7th, we have Beast Games, Mr. Beast. Yes, one of the most successful men in terms of, I guess, the internet, is doing the second season of Beast Games, where players are facing off. There's challenges for the mind, challenges for the body, and I hear this is pretty insane. I hear this is a lot like Squid Games, except nobody dies. So that's out there for you to watch as well. In movie theaters on Friday, we have the premiere of the movie Primate, about a killer chimp. Hell yeah. All right. We also have the film Greenland 2. I haven't seen Greenland 1, but it stars Gerard Butler. So if you're a big fan of Greenland 1, get ready for Friday, folks. On Netflix on Friday, we have the new film People We Meet on Vacation, which is based on the popular Emily Henry novel. And the novel, I think, was huge. So this might be really a fun kind of rom-com movie on Netflix. On Fox tonight, we had the premiere of Best Medicine, starring Josh Charles. It's kind of like one of those surgeon that leaves the big city. I don't know if you ever saw the movie Doc Hollywood with Michael J. Fox, but it seems very reminiscent of that, or even the show Northern Exposure back in the day, if anybody remembers that. On Wednesday on Netflix, this actually is very interesting. It's the second season of Unlocked: A Jail Experiment. It follows real prisoners, and I hope Puff Daddy's involved in some way. But no, I think this is fascinating, but also how scary that we do live in a day and age where we are fully seeing reality shows set in prison. But as you can tell, TV is really ramping up already. And Thursday is going to be a really interesting night because 8 p.m. is when The Traitors premieres, 3 episodes. And then 9 p.m. on HBO Max, you have the second season of The Pit. So already there's like kind of these streaming competitions, and we really won't know the winners for a little bit of time because they usually don't release streaming numbers. So there's going to be a lot of attention for your eyeballs. And you're going to continue to see this. At the end of today's Pop Culture Roundup, I talk about more things to watch out for during the year. But remember, we have a new season of Summer House premiering in February. We're going to have so much television that you are going to have to say goodbye to your family and friends and just watch TV and listen to So Bad It's Good. Okay? I'm so happy you're here, and let's get to it. The one, the only, Sophie Ross. Now, I'm going to take our last and final commercial break, even though I just took one about, less than 10 minutes ago. But that way, I don't have to have the Pop Culture Roundup interrupted. And so I always think that's a more pleasurable listening experience. So I just wanted to let you know, I'm aware you've had 2 commercial breaks within 10 minutes, but you will not have any others until the very end of this episode, okay? Have a great Monday, folks. I'll talk to you on Tuesday.